you don't care, no. You just don't care, no. I don't wanna play, baby, I'm just fine. I don't need you anymore.
For content information and a link to the written version of this video, please check the description below. Welcome to the fourth entry in my Under the Queer Umbrella spin-off blog series, where I discuss new terms I learned of this weekend, as well as terms added or updated on the wiki this past weekend. In this entry we shall be discussing a small variety of queer identities which I found on the LGBTA+ wiki, either through the randomizing button or through looking at the newly added section. Consider supporting me either via my Cash App, by my GoFundMe to help directly with my transition, or check my email below for commission information. Just consider supporting me. Anyway, back to the video. Disclaimer. Although I've gone into this blog and this video with the best intentions to educate others and done plenty of my own research into these identities by talking to those who identify with these labels and doing online research, I do not have the majority of these identities and therefore cannot speak from personal experience. If I get any information wrong, if you're comfortable, feel free to let me know in the comments and I will amend the blog entry for this video as needed. My intention is to bring awareness to these identities and to educate on the beauty of queer identities. I encourage you to do your own research alongside this video. You can find the links to all of these identities by clicking on the respective links in the description below. Now back to the video. Terms I learned this weekend. This is a series of terms I found through randomizing the LGBTA+ wiki page between Friday to Sunday this weekend. These terms will be placed in alphabetical order with the possible exception of terms that are directly related to a term I randomized. Amicusexual. This term sits under the asexuality spectrum umbrella and is also a subcategory of demisexuality. Those who use this term only develop sexual attraction to others who they have a platonic relationship with. This is different to demisexuality, as amicusexual only relates to sexual attraction developing after a platonic connection has been formed, whereas demisexuality can relate to any form of attraction being established. I will be discussing forms of attraction in a future entry. '70s Correc. This is an aesthetic gender related to the aesthetic of the 70s decade. It can be related to music of the era, fashion, decorations, technology, media, etc. Those who use this term may feel validation when they are surrounded by 70s themed aesthetics. 80s Correc. This is an aesthetic gender related to the aesthetic of the 80s decade. It can be related to music of the era, fashion, decorations, technology, media, etc. Those who use this term may feel validation when they are surrounded by 80s themed aesthetics. 90s Correc. This is an aesthetic gender related to the aesthetic of the 90s decade. It can be related to music of the era, fashion, decorations, technology, media. It's also related to neon colours, etc. Those who use this term may feel validation when they are surrounded by 90s themed aesthetics. Vario-heteromantic. Also known as SAM, split attraction model, heteromantic. This is an aromantic spectrum, Mspec identity related to those who experience romantic attraction, which is straight or heteroromantic. This usually means that those using the term experience romantic attraction to those of an opposite gender to their own. Those who use this specific term can also be heterosexual, but most commonly it's used by those who are not heterosexual but experience romantic attraction, which is heteroromantic. I will be discussing heteroromantic in more detail in my upcoming Aerospec entry. Consider checking out my Patreon in the description below. For just £1 a month, you will be able to see all my videos a day before they go public. Thank you for considering. That's £1 a month for a video a day earlier than public. Okay, now back to the actual video. Terms added to or updated on the wiki this weekend. This is a list of terms I found by going to the recently added section on the LGBTA+ wiki. The following identities were either coined in the past weekend or had a major update to their page, such as the addition of a flag or an updated description. They are placed in release order with the exception of the terms which are directly related to the terms I found. This is not every identity that was added this weekend. I focused on those which were coined this past weekend and also had flags. Lefine. This is a submarine, a collection of genders related to sleep or tiredness, xenogender, which relates to those whose gender relates to sleepiness or tiredness. Those who use this term may feel their gender relates to the feeling of letting go or succumbing to sleep. This gender has two layers, one which is welcomed by a well-deserved rest, and one which contains an underlying sense of dread that one may never wake up from. This term can be useful for those who experience insomnia or other related sleep troubles, but it is not exclusive to them. This term wasn't added this weekend, but it did receive an update this weekend, which is why I added it here. Machete multisexuals. Sorry, that was a bit of my lisp coming out there. If you saw my entry on Mspec Identities, which is my most viewed blog entry and most viewed video over on my channel, sorry, I'm reading my blog entry of this, which I thank you all for, you will know that there is a large amount of Mspec Exclusionists out there. I even had a couple of them reply to my Mspec video, which angered me to no end. This term, machete multisexual, is all about combating their hate with love and being inclusive to all Mspec identities. The term beautifully mocks exclusionist terms like battle X bi, etc. by reclaiming a weapon that would otherwise be used against us. I encourage all fellow multisexuals who see this to embrace this term, and for all those who are not multisexual, I encourage you to continue showing us your support, because as much as I love terms like this existing to fight exclusionists with inclusivity, the sad truth is that we wouldn't need terms like this if haters just listened to us and put down their weapons. I, for one, will never tolerate exclusionist bigots, and I hope you don't either. Ninstelic. Last but not least, we have ninstelic. This term is for those who are attracted to neutral and or neutral-aligned genders. This can also include the attraction to those who have multiple gender identities but sometimes align with a neutral gender or several neutral genders. So that was it for the new terms I learned this weekend. We will be discussing the aromantic spectrum, better known as Aerospec, soon, and I will also be celebrating Non-Binary Awareness Week with a special entry. That's this week, by the way, up until the 17th. So make sure to subscribe to check that out. Please do your own research alongside these entries, and until next time, happy Disabled Month and happy Non-Binary Awareness Week. Thank you all so much for helping me reach my goal of 50 subscribers within the week that I released my last video. I was not expecting that at all, since my goal was for the end of the month. My next goal is to gain 75 subscribers by the end of this month. I know that we can do it. So thank you all for watching. Consider liking if you liked this video, subscribing to see more and to help me reach my goal of 75 subscribers by the end of the month, and commenting. I love hearing your comments about, especially the ones where you relate to terms that I talk about or ask questions about terms that I talk about. I love hearing your questions and I love answering them to the best of my ability, and I just love interacting with you all. So thank you all, and consider sharing to further support this channel. Also, the links to my Twitter is down below. I am very active on there. So yeah, thank you all so much for supporting me, donating, subscribing, commenting, sharing, liking, everything. And I will see you all in my next video, which will be my celebrating Non-Binary Awareness Week video. Bye.